So what is spirituality to me? Am I a spiritual being? Should I start going to church? Should I pray or should I meditate? Do I believe in God or the universe? Is spirituality demonic? I really don't know because everybody be saying something different. Why do I keep seeing repeating numbers all the time? I keep seeing 222, 333 everywhere I go. They just keep following me. I really don't understand what it means. A lot of people say this is the devil's work, but I really don't know what to believe. Is this demonic? Hey Mystics! Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things to heal, grow, and evolve. I got a calling to talk about your spiritual foundation. The word foundation was very prevalent this past week. I just kept seeing the word over and over and over again. And so that's why I felt called to make a video to help you guys who are still kind of rocky about your beliefs, what you should do, what type of practices you should be working on. So this video is for you. So what is a spiritual foundation? A foundation is some type of basis or some type of layer that you can build up on. So it's like a ground level. It's a groundwork of anything. So in this case, a spiritual foundation is kind of like the basics or the core values of what you believe in, what you practice, your beliefs, and then your crafts as well. So what type of spiritual work do you do? What type of things resonate with you? And having a spiritual foundation is being consistent on that type of work. So this is the first layer of your spiritual mindset, because without a spiritual foundation, you have nothing to build off of. So think of it kind of like also like a snowball effect. You have your foundation, your core values, and then as you grow, as you build more knowledge of your spiritual work, you kind of build upon that snowball and keep growing and growing and growing. But if you have nothing to start off with, that's going to leave you very confused because you're not sure of yourself. And eventually that snowball or that base layer falls apart. Similar to a friendship or a relationship, you need to have some type of strong foundation in order to make things work or to be successful. The roles each other plays, the expectations, the goals, and then also to build a stronger bond with each other. So in this case, in spirituality, you need to have some sort of lay work that helps you build a relationship and a stronger bond with either God, the universe, your ancestors, or your spirit team. Because how can you say that you have trust in God or the universe when you didn't even have a way to communicate with them properly? You haven't built a layer, you haven't built a routine, you haven't built a way to communicate with them that works for you. So when you don't have a strong spiritual foundation, you become very rocky in what you believe in your belief systems, and you kind of go back and forth on what you should do. So because of this, you can get easily swayed by people online or other people around you telling you to make, or even trying to force you to believe in what they believe in. This also makes you kind of prone to fear mongering. So an example of this is even the solar eclipse we had last week. There were so many conspiracy theories and fears of the world ending. I actually couldn't believe how many posts online I saw about that. But someone who doesn't have a strong belief system in their spirituality can easily succumb to those fears that they're portraying out to people. And then they can also make that their truth temporarily because they don't know themselves. They don't have a strong spiritual core foundation. So overall, a foundation is to strengthen your basics, having a consistent routine, be consistent in your work, having a consistent ideology, and then building off of that in order to grow and to evolve in order to grow and enhance your knowledge. So I made a little example diagram. I called this the spiritual wall. I wanted to use this to kind of help you guys build. I'm a visual learner, so I kind of drew this to help you guys who need a better understanding, or to kind of just help you guys understand it in visual senses. So this layer is your spiritual foundation or your basis. Think of this like a wall or a house. In order for you to build a house, you need to have the foundation, you need to have the layer, the base. This bottom layer here is what keeps everything together. It's like the core. It's pretty much like the rock of the house or the wall. So everything doesn't come tumbling and falling apart. So this first layer is the things that you believe in, your core value. These are your basic. Once you develop your basics, once you develop your values, you can now build off of that, the second layer. This layer is the second layer. These are the things that you get from your spirit guides, God, your ancestor. These are your downloads. Because you've built a consistent way of communicating with God, communicating with your spirit team, with the universe, now you're able to receive downloads from them. You're able to receive messages and guidance to get clarity and confirmation of what you need to do, or the things that you need to take action in your life, or just general knowledge that you receive from them. So this is that second layer. And because you already built that foundation, you can add this on top of it in order to support your first layer of your foundation. And you just keep growing and growing and growing and adding more layers of knowledge. But without this first layer, none of this would be stable. Everything eventually would just fall apart and crumble, kind of like the Tower card in tarot, if you're familiar with tarot. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so another example I have is this beautiful monstera plant that I bought the other day. As you can see, it kind of needs some watering, it needs some nourishment, it needs some better taken care of. So I want to use this example as your spiritual foundation. So if you don't have a proper spiritual foundation, you have nothing to water, you have nothing to nourish. It's not consistent. You're not planting your ideas, you're not planting your spiritual foundation consistently. And because of that, eventually, if you don't have something that's very consistent or a strong seed, a spiritual seed to plant within your base with that first layer, eventually it will start to crumble and fall apart. So if you're not consistent of watering your plant, so an example, watering the knowledge that you receive from spirit, eventually it will start to wilter and die off. So that's why it's very important to have a strong foundation to plant the seed of your spiritual basics to grow your beautiful plant, so it can blossom and become a spiritual tree or a plant of knowledge. Okay, so examples of you building a foundation. So this is something that you would do consistently. So what works for you? What are your habits that you have? Kind of like a morning routine and a night routine. You also need a routine for your spiritual work as well, or your beliefs. So the first thing I want to start off with is protection work. Having some type of consistent way to protect yourself. This could be smudging, having crystals, Florida water. These are just some basic ways for you to increase your protection work and add that layer of spiritual foundation in your life. You can journal. You can have a journal to write to God, or to write to your ancestors or your spirit team or the universe. You can have a journal to talk to them, or you can have a gratitude journal, just writing down your thanks and your appreciation, or you can build an ancestor altar. These are just basic ways to build a spiritual foundation, to build your groundwork. Meditating is another way for you to have a core foundation. I think meditating is very needed. I believe that meditation helps you receive guidance and receive clarity from the universe, from your spirit team, from God. You can either meditate or you can pray. You just have to find out what works best for you and what will make you more consistent in order for you to build that layer or to plant your seed, bloom and blossom into knowledge, into a tree of knowledge. You can also use divination as your way of connecting to spirit. People use tarot cards or oracle cards. You can just pull a card and just ask spirit a question. Also, some people use pendulums. I know they have one and just swing back and forth to ask a yes or no question. I know some people burn a candle, they light incense. That kind of helps them ground their mind. I know they do like a flame work, looking at a flame, and then kind of like using that as a divination as well. You really just have to find something that will work best for you, that resonates with for you, and then is consistent for you as well. The main thing I want you to take from this video is just find something that works for you and be consistent with that. The more you're consistent, the more guidance you receive from your spirit team in order for you to be guided and pivoted into the way that would want to give messages for you. Start somewhere, and in the end, you'll be guided, and then you will find what works best for you. All right, y'all, that's all I have today for this video. Let me know what you do for your spiritual foundation, what consistent routines help you or work out for you. So yeah, until next time.